Pris and this is Pris Builds, and today I'm going to be doing a Tangent Tuesday talking about the Creator Detectives Office. It retailed for about $160 in the US when it was on the market. It is a retired set. Had 2,262 pieces, so when it was new it was about 7 cents a brick. So overall, pretty happy about that. Just quick note, it is supposed to have a little tree here, but during our move that tree it's MIA. I'm still looking for it. I hoped to find it for this one, but it didn't happen. When I was building the set, one of the things that I really liked was the builds for the signs, which I know sounds a little silly, but I did like the builds. I thought they were actually kind of nicely done for the pool hall and for Al's. So it has a billiards hall, detective shop, it's down here, and then Al's barber. So it has a detective, Ace Brickman is the detective in our little world here. It's a modular build. I do kind of wish they would get like a hinge build going for like their modulars, because I do think it would make them easier to show off all the fun features, because they put so much cool stuff in here, and then if you're trying to show it or talk about it, it becomes kind of lost. But I do love the work they did in the pool hall. I love the ski shoes as the ceiling fan. The pool table was a nice build. The barbershop I thought was particularly adorable. And as the detective and the lady in red who's come to him for help. It's very film noir, Maltese Falcon type of situation. We have our, here's our sleuth, and he's going to help this lady with whatever her issues are. So they're kind of fun. And then the other part is a little apartment build with a little bathroom. And then our top section. So we have a little kitchenette at the top. So I guess he's just like sleeping in the office. He doesn't really have a bedroom to speak of. But I do like the little bathroom build. It was very cute. I do think it's kind of a little odd. You have the kitchen, you have the bathroom, but no bedroom. But I feel this is kind of how the modulars can be. Like, they don't always make sense. Like, when I grew up with a lot of doll houses, and there was always like a bedroom and a bathroom and a kitchen. Like, every traditional room in a house would be like in your dollhouse. And the modular builds definitely defy that. And sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. I think it actually worked okay with this one because of what they chose to put in there. I feel like this could be just an adjoining little office area, break room to the detective's office. Then maybe they share that with the other people in the building. Lots of cool printed bricks, wanted posters, little maps. Very, very fun set. This would be one of those sets that if you can find at a good price, I would say it'd be worth it to pick up. I feel it's a little underrated. However, price is definitely a factor, I would say. That's the back of the set. This was a fun set to build. I loved all the little features they kind of crammed into it. And I like the little kind of weird story that it kind of tells of like the detective and the lady he's helping. Hi, now it's the tangent part of Tangent Tuesdays. Today I'd like to talk about detective shows. So even though the set has a very film noir feel to it, and originally I thought maybe I'd go off on that type of tangent and talk about some of those types of movies, but I grew up in the 80s, and my favorites were things like Magnum P.I., Miami Vice, Remington Steele. I remember watching that a heck of a lot. moonlighting, actually, which that a ridiculous amount as a younger person. And my favorite was Murder, She Wrote. So for those of you who aren't familiar, Murder, She Wrote aired from 84 to 96. There's about. And it starred Angela Lansbury as a amateur sleuth / mystery writer, Jessica Fletcher. And you follow her little exploits about the show. You get to see her when she gets her first novel published and her first murder that she solves, and you follow her along on her little crazy adventures. A lot of it takes place in Cabot Cove, Maine, which is this little tiny vacation town in Maine. She's in Maine, but it's almost always like spring or summer. So when all the crimes are taking place, it's when they're going to have an inflated population. Like she's not out there like solving crimes in like, 6 feet of Maine snow. Nope, not so much. I do kind of want to know what the town is like in the winter, because I feel like we're never there. I think there's like one or two episodes that take place like in the winter, and even then it's not like what we'd expect a winter in Maine to be. So, thoughts on that? So one thing that's kind of interesting, and I believe Angela Lansbury weighed in pretty heavily on this, was that she wanted her character in the show to not be able to drive a car, so they wouldn't have to have like all those like car chasing. She wanted to avoid chasing the bad guys. And on that note, a lot of times she catches the bad guys and they just give up. They're like, yeah, I did it. And they'll give her the motive, and it's not they're pretty compliant about being arrested and taken away and admitting their crimes. It's a little humorous in kind of like a funny way, because I'm like, really, they catch people with like DNA evidence and like fingerprints, and they are still saying they're not guilty. Like she's got them on like a verbal misstep, where they've said something and she's like, well, only the killer would have known that his coat would have been put on backwards and buttoned wrong. Oh, okay, well, that's how you caught him. And then they're like, yeah, you caught me, and now I'm going to prison probably for life. So it's kind of humorous, but I think I love that about the show, is that it does have this kind of like really sweet charm about it. It's not all evil tortury death like some of the other shows. Like I'm a fan of Criminal Minds, but sometimes I'm like, man, that's kind of got a little dark there. Murder, She Wrote doesn't go super dark. I love that about it. The other thing that kind of makes it like fun and quirky is that over the course of the series, they have a lot of reoccurring guest stars, but they aren't in reoccurring roles. So you have the same person appearing for maybe 5 different episodes throughout the course of like 3 to 5 seasons or what have you, but they play a different person each time they appear. So you're like, but I thought you were that guy, or didn't you get killed, or weren't you the killer? So it's a little odd, especially for the ones that have really recognizable physical features. But those can be some little funny little pieces in there. The one thing I did learn that I was kind of fascinated about is they had almost done like a sequel or reboot several years ago for Murder, She Wrote, but they decided against it for various reasons. And I was reading like the proposed thing, and I was like, no, that was not, no. They weren't planning to kind of have that same vibe, and I feel that you would need to. I feel like it can be done. Like I feel that, there's definitely an audience for it. I loved Monk and Psych from, what was that, 90s, 2000s, somewhere in there. They were funny detective dramas, and I feel that we could have another one like Murder, She Wrote. And I feel that it could be a sequel, and it could even be based on that same world and Jessica. So throughout the series, she has like family members that constantly pop up. Like she has a nephew, Grady, who appears several times. So I think it'd be very easy to use him. Have him and his wife have a daughter. So the series ended in 96. It's been, 20-something years now. She could easily be like out of college. She could be trying to become a writer like her Aunt Jess, or great Aunt Jess. I don't really know what that would make her. But regardless, she could be trying to be a writer. And maybe she moves into Jess's house. Like she leaves it to her in her will, or left it to Grady, and then he sends her there to go live, and she could be living in Cabot Cove. We could have a whole thing. We could have some really good reoccurring, funny, like local characters. We could make light of the fact, the high murder population. They could make some good inside jokes based on the original series. And Angela Lansbury is still alive at this time. I hope she stays with us a very long time. She's super awesome. But she could even maybe make a guest appearance, like in the show, and you know, kind of hand over the torch or be involved. I think it would be very feasible. Another option would be if you wanted a slightly older version. She has another niece, Victoria, who is on a few different episodes. You know, I think she appears like 3 or 4 times maybe. But at this time, you know, again, we'd be talking older, so she'd probably be in her 50s. You know, she was like in her 20s or 30s when the show originally aired, so I guess that would put her about that age now, which would be kind of like a slightly older aged actress playing the role, so we could have some more closer similarities to the original Marty Sherwood, which I think would be very doable. I think she'd be a good character to use because she had this weird husband who was an actor and this stuff, and I feel that they could have like a whole drama about it. Like her husband could have been murdered, and now she's, you know, trying to deal with it, and she inherited justice again. Oh, have them inherit the house. They moved to Cabot Cove. That's going to be kind of key because you got to get them into Cabot Cove, Maine. I don't think you can have a Murder, She Wrote if it's not in Cabot Cove, Maine. I have strong feelings about that, but feel free to weigh in on that on the comments. But yeah, so I feel that it would have been very doable to have a sequel if they really did it as a sequel to the series. And I feel it could be done in a way that would be very respectful and like really bring honor to the original series. I think it's one of the best series out there for like long running murder dramas, you know, especially in that type of fun, quirky way. Like it wasn't too dark, but it always had like a good like underground plot going on. And Jessica was always such a likable character. Like she was very sweet and very kind. You know, even when she was being snarky, she was like so nice about it. So I would love to see some more Murder, She Wrote. So those are my hopes and dreams I'm sending out there on Tangent Tuesday. Maybe we can hope and dream. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're one of I'm up to like almost 8 subscribers. We're getting close to 10, almost double digits. So feel free to like and subscribe, share, algorithm, something. I don't know. People are always talking about an algorithm. And I don't know. Anyway, I'm Briss, and I built this.